Good evening, welcome to a very special episode of Trending at 10 p.m. I'm Vishnu Shom. On the program tonight, the one and only Leander Paes, India's greatest ever tennis player, is also the greatest doubles player in the history of the Davis Cup now, after winning his 43rd Davis Cup doubles match, which helped India beat China 3-2 in a crucial rubber. Now 44 and going on 45, Leander Paes is a model of determination, of mental strength, someone who is perpetually setting the clock back as he keeps on achieving at the very highest levels of international tennis. He's truly an inspiration for millions and joins us now. Leander, thanks very much for being with us. Now, Sharda Ogra has actually written about you, the sports journalist. She says, not the tallest of men, Paes was a scissor hands at the net with the legs of a cheetah and a rocket engine for a heart. Leander, at the age of 44, going on 45, for you in your tennis, is it all about heart? Is that what keeps you going today?
Very much so. I feel that I've had a very blessed career over the last 30 years. And when I first started out my career, Vish, I never ever dreamt that I would be able to beat world records of longevity. I never saw myself playing for these many years, and there are so many people I have a lot of gratitude for and a lot of thanks for. They've been pillars in my career, and this world record is my way of honoring them and showing reverence towards them.
But what about the role of your parents? Because you've spoken about your parents in the past. They are both sports people. To what end did they actually keep you going?
My blessings in my career start off from my genetics, from my parents. Both my mom and my dad, they were world beaters in their own sport in basketball and hockey. And they have not only passed on their speed or their knowledge of sport and sports medicine, but also they've been complete pillars and strengths in my career. They've just always been there for me. And I've been very lucky to have parents like this who have encouraged me every step of the way through all the ups and downs. They've been there for me. And apart from my parents, I've had Naresh Kumar, my first Davis Cup captain, who put his captaincy on the line way back in February 1990. And he chose a young 15-year-old who had just come off getting to the finals of the Junior Australian Open. And back in Chandigarh in early February of 1990, he chose me to play my first Davis Cup tie with Zeeshan Ali, who coincidentally now is the coach who I won the world record under. So there's so much of gratitude for every single Davis Cup captain that I've had, every teammate that I've had as doubles partner in Davis Cup, because this record just does not belong to me. It actually belongs to the whole country. All these people who have played a major part in my career, whether it's my coaches, my trainers, my Davis Cup captains, my doubles partners, my teammates, my parents, my daughter Ayana, who's been a huge motivating factor in my career, especially in the last 10 years, 12 years that I've played. And this record belongs to every one of these people and to all of India.
But how much longer are we going to see you going in tennis? Are those legs tired? Is the will to keep playing still strong? Why do you still do it?
That's a really good question.
You've achieved so much.
A few times in my career, since I was a 19-year-old, where I've wanted to hang up my rackets and not play no more. And my father put it really well a few months ago. I was going through a bit of a tough patch, and he said, Leander, if you don't want to play any more tennis the rest of your life, I just know that I'm very, very proud of you for what you've done. You've done more than any father could have asked for. And to come from my dad, who's an Olympic champion, also my biggest critique, also my biggest supporter. He's been a guiding light in my life, and for my dad to say that, I knew that if I do not play another day of tennis, if I decide today's my last day of tennis and I do not pick up another tennis racket the rest of my life, I know that I've had a great body of work and I've got nothing else to prove to anybody. So I'm very blessed for the career that I've had, and I'm very grateful to every single individual who has played their part in my career to help me become who I've become. And to answer your question in terms of the future, right now I play tennis because it is my way of putting bread and butter on the table. It's my way of earning a living. Also, tennis is a very clean life. It's a very clean lifestyle, a very transparent lifestyle. The hard work and the hard yards that go into it is not rocket science. If you put the hard work in, you put the 10 hours, the 12 hours a day in the right way, and you work smartly, you can achieve winning Grand Slams. And I guess my career over the last 30 years has been to prove to every young kid out there in the world that if Leander can become a world champion, if Leander can achieve world records, and I can win Grand Slams, then any young kid with a lot of perseverance, a lot of hard work, a lot of belief in themselves can also be world beaters.
Unbelievable that you say that you're still willing to put in 10, 12 hours a day of tennis. But for you, Leander, be honest, can there be a future without tennis?
Very much so. I've got a lot of energy to put towards my tennis, but commentary is an avenue I could do. Nurturing young talent is another avenue I could do. I'm always looking for vehicles to motivate youngsters to be the best that they can be. So very much so with the long career that I've had, trust me, through all the hard hours of perseverance and fitness and training, and the regime that it takes to be a world beater is very, very hard. It's a very difficult life, and not many people are cut out for it. But some of us have been very blessed, and I could name a few, like a Sachin Tendulkar or a MS Dhoni, or if you look at Vishy Anand, who's played for so many years, you look at Gopichand, who's played for so many years, you look at Dhanraj Pillai, who's played for so many years, just to name a few, who've had really long careers. For me, I've had such a blessed long career that if I wake up tomorrow and I don't have professional tennis to play, I could still go to the club and play with my friends. I could still go to the academy and play with the youngsters out there to motivate them to be the best that they can be.
But what about getting tired yourself? Because you still want to keep on playing for the moment. What about motivating yourself to keep competing? Is that at this stage what it's all about? Motivating yourself to keep going? How much tougher, for example, is it now than in the past to be at that fitness level or at that skill level which you feel you need to be at to win matches?
That's a great question. The hours that it takes to still play at this level, let alone win, is incredible.
Yeah.
I don't believe that not many people realize as they come into trying to achieve excellence, they don't realize the hard hours and the loneliness and the effort that it takes as a team, not just as one individual, but to have the right coach, to have the right serve and volley coach, to have the right fitness coach, to have the right physiotherapist, to have the right traveling companion, as in Sanjay Singh, for example. He's been traveling with me for 29 years, doing my yoga, doing my meditation, doing my stretching, looking after my gym work, looking after my diet, looking after my massage and recovery. These things now, at the age of 40, 45, 30, 35, take a lot many more hours. What I could, the results I could achieve when I was 21 or 25 or 27, 28 years old, things could happen a lot faster because of all the hard yards I put in as a kid, in my training and grooming as a young talented athlete. But at 40, 45, where I am right now, it is very grueling. I pride myself on my fitness. I pride myself on not just going to an event to participate. I go to an event to be a winner. And that's the legacy I've left back over the last 30 years in my career, that if I'm going to a tournament, I believe I can win it. And as long as I feel like I'm happy to put in those hard yards, as long as I feel like the grueling fitness and training and the aches and pains through that early mornings, late evenings, shadow practice after dinner, waking up in the morning and doing your 7 kilometers on the sand, as long as I'm happy to do those, as long as I feel like I enjoy the hard yards that it takes, I feel like now I'm playing because of the happiness of tennis. I have nothing else to prove to anybody. Tennis is just my vehicle to put bread and butter on the table, and it's a very simple life. So I've been able to master the art of putting in the hard work off the court or in the gym or on the track, or having the simplicity of my life where I don't drink, I don't smoke, I've never touched alcohol in my life. That simplicity of that enables me to achieve when I get onto the tennis court. So I've been able to master the art, and as long as I enjoy it, I'll keep doing it.
And we hope you keep going for a long time. Now let's talk about some specifics in your career. A lot of us have been quite fascinated by some of your matches, your achievements. Everybody looks at doubles, but you've also had a very interesting run in singles. Your ATP page will always show, for example, that you have a 100% head-to-head singles record against Pete Sampras. Of course, you played him just once in singles, I believe, but the experience of beating a world #1, and that to someone like Pete Sampras, what was that like? Run us through that match.
Yes, Pete Sampras is one of the greats that I've looked up to over my whole career, and I was very blessed to, at the age of 19, when I moved to America, to persevere in my training systems there and enhance my tennis and my repertoire through the amazing coaching that they have in America, in fitness, in rehab, in sports medicine, in mental toughness training. The American training system was very good back in the 80s and the early 90s. And Pete was one of the first people I met when I got to Florida. And I was his sparring partner, I was his practice partner through many long, hard yards. And I remember that Pete Sampras, his mentor, was Ivan Lendl. And Ivan was a real drill master. He was a real taskmaster. He's one of my dearest friends. And the hard yards that Ivan would put into his tennis was just mind-boggling. I thought I worked really hard as a 16, 17, 18-year-old by putting in 10, 11-hour days. But I didn't realize that the potency of quality of hard work that an Ivan Lendl or Pete Sampras put into those 10 hours or those 12 hours was phenomenal. And that was one of the greatest gifts that they passed on to me, is how to become a world champion, how to be a Grand Slam winner, how to bring out the best in your talent. And for me, I'm 5'10" on a good day, so I do not possess a serve of a Pete Sampras. I do not possess a backhand of an Ivan Lendl. And back then, when I was playing singles, I always wanted to covet a singles medal in the Olympics. So through those hard yards and through the knowledge that I learned from Pete Sampras or from Ivan Lendl, I was very blessed to be able to win a medal at the Atlanta Olympics. That being said, about 15 years of my 30-year career, I've played singles and doubles. But in the last 12, 13, 14 years, all I've been playing is doubles and mixed doubles. And I think that the hard yards that I've put in through my learning as a young boy, or through my knowledge that I've learned from Pete Sampras or from the Florida Academy, or from a Dave Herman, who's my fitness trainer of 24 years, or from Ivan Lendl, has stood me in good stead even now. So at 45, a tennis ball does not know the age of the athlete. It just knows the power you hit it with, the spins you create, the creativity you have. Just as another great player, Roger Federer, is proving in singles. I mean, I'm doing this in doubles, but what Roger Federer can do in singles is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
It's amazing how he keeps reinventing himself. And for me, that's a big inspiration to learn from these great athletes in the world, that in my own humble way, how I can carve out my own history in a sport of tennis.